What's going on, everyone? Yes, there's another tour review, and yes, the woman that stands in front of you is female version Guyver 2. Now, this particular version is based upon the old OVA, Guyver Out of Control. Now, they also have another version that's coming out, or came out, which will be on the way soon, which is a more pinkish tone Guyver 2. That one's considered the manga version, and that one is considered Guyver 2 Valkyrie. Now, this figure here is made by Figma, so let's go ahead and jump into this review and see what Figma has to offer on this Guyver. As always, they did a really good job on nailing the anime look. Really nicely done. Simplistic when it comes down to some of the shadowing, but it still pops really well. Go ahead and turn it to the side. There you go. And let me switch it to the back real quick. Because a lot of people looked at this Guyver and was like, okay, I don't remember Guyver being a female, and I damn sure don't remember no purple Guyver or anything of that nature. But depending on what you've seen or what you only know about, then that's why you probably feel that way. But this Guyver do actually exist, and depending on what media you've seen first, this will be considered the very first Guyver 2 or the second. So it just depends on what you actually seen. But I really am happy that they actually added this character to the mix along with the other Guyvers, and hopefully we'll be seeing some more soon. They already announced, or I posted the Guyver 3 fully painted, and it looks really nice. So hopefully we'll be seeing a pre-order up for that soon, and I hope they keep going. I think they are, because they know how good that actual line did, so hopefully they just continue to keep bringing out the Guyvers along with some of the enemies. So that is your full 360 of Guyver 2. Now, height comparison wise, I'll show you real quick. Let me bring her back even more. She stands a little bit taller than Sho, which I'm actually glad, because in the old OVA she was taller than him. So that's the height on that. And then here's a Mezco Daredevil, and he's slightly taller than them. Alright, so that is her height comparison. Now, as for the accessories that you receive with Guyver 2, she come kind of, I'm going to say, low on accessories. So let me go ahead and focus real quick for y'all. She comes with the Mega Smasher hands, relax hands, and gripping hands, and then the extra peg and back piece, stand and mount. Alright, and then she also comes with what you see equipped already on her, which is the high frequency blades, which come with a long one and the short one. Alright, and as for details, I'll show you up close real quick of it. Pretty simple, just like Guyver 1. Little peg in on the side. Same thing goes for the small one. Alright, and she comes with her Mega Smasher. Now this is one of them 50-50 fillings on it. So it's a perk and not so much. Well, at least not to me. I haven't seen it happen, but I kind of got a feeling that will eventually. So I'll go ahead and bring her up and bring Shoal up so you can actually see side by side. So if you look at the rib cage area, Sho has his Mega Smasher already built into him. It bulks his chest out a bit because it's already built on him, and then it also kind of kills the flush or consistent look of the sculpting to his chest. Now, to me, I'm fine with this particular design because I hated the old school design so bad due to the fact that it used to come off all the time, and I used to be annoyed of that. So his, like I said, is built directly into him, right? So you got just that alone. Now, the thing about that perk, the longevity wise, you don't have to worry about his chest piece falling out like the older one. So that was the perk. But the downside was the ball joints, or them ball pegs rather, kind of changed the look of them. Some people didn't like it. Some people, such as myself, it didn't really bother me. But now looking at Guyver 2, you kind of see that nice consistent sculpt. Let's move him out the way 1 second. You can see that consistent sculpt under the ribs. Okay, now it looks better, right? But what worries me is that when you remove this, it's just pegged in by some simple pegs. So something tells me down the line, if you was to move this too much, I can see that being loose and just falling off. Well, the reason why it does that is because you can peg in her Mega Smasher, which they're on separate pieces. And it looks more organic than the one that's on show currently. So that's one of the things. But I will say what's nice about this version of her, or version of the Mega Smasher rather, go ahead and focus for you real quick. Look how great they did it. It's actually in a clear bubble. The mold is sculpted inside, so it looks more organic. It looks a lot better than that silver shit on Guyver 1. So I will say I really like this design for the Mega Smasher, the way it looks. And that's for the other breast. Now, what I'm going to do so it won't get hindered in the way, go ahead and take that out. And I'll put the other part back in real quick. But that is the last of her accessories that you receive. Now, as for articulation, that part didn't really change between Guyver 1 and her. The only thing that did change, which I wish companies stopped doing, because it's kind of odd that they do this to only female characters 90% of the time. She loses one joint, which you will see as I go down. But she has a full 360 view. If she want to turn her head all the way around, you can. What I do like, they still gave her the vocal cords that's separate from the mold, which is also really nice. Her head can go that far down, which is a very nice range. It can go about that far up, which is also a very nice range. You can tilt slightly, but not for real, so I wouldn't attempt it because you don't want to break nothing. Her arms can do a full 360 back and forth all the way around. Okay, it can come out about that far, which is really nice. Going down to her elbows, you can do that much of a bend, or you can turn the forearm and barely go a little bit more, of like a smidget more, not practically nothing actually. You can swivel at the elbow, below or above the bicep. Below the elbow or above the elbow. So either or. You can swivel at either or. Okay. Now going to the wrist. So on a simple peg. Let's see which way it's turning. It's kind of hard to see. But it's on that type of peg, which pretty much all Figmas. The only thing with this is because the design is kind of hard to actually pull off some of those movements in the hand due to that piece of plastic there actually kind of hinders that movement. So that's the only thing on that part. Going to the actual abdomen, you can get a nice range, nice tilt. Really nicely done on that. If you go back, you're going to get a huge gap, but she can't go back that far. Now, the joint that I was speaking about being lost, she does not have a waist joint. For some odd reason, they do this only with female characters. They do it a lot. He has a waist joint that's perfectly fine, and she don't. So she can't actually do any swivel at the waist, which I believe is stupid, but it is what it is. Now, coming to the legs, She has the same amount of range as Guyver 1. Do the splits. Have a swivel. Kick about that far forward. Single hinge. Get about that much of a bend. Alright. You can turn it a little bit there. You can turn it a little bit there. And on the toe and foot, get about that there. Toe has a joint. Get about that much. And then you can also tilt it as well. And it still looks nice and flush. So that is all the articulation dealing with Guyver 2. So I must say, her being a add-on to the list of Guyvers that's being shown, or coming rather, it's definitely a great add-on. I'm really happy I picked her up. I don't have no gripes about her. And to be honest with you, when it comes to Guyver toys in general, it ain't like we get a lot of them. So I feel like if they're giving it, I'm buying it. That's pretty much the situation. Is because how many times are we going to actually have the opportunity to get Guyver toys? And if you was a late collector, such as myself, I was able to get the old Guyver, but none of the other, like Zornoids or Zorlords or the Guyver units, any of that stuff. You can get them now, but you about to pay an arm and a leg, and for some of the issues that those figures had, it's just not worth it in my opinion. Unless you're just a huge collector, then you know you're gonna get it regardless. But I would say if you're trying to start all over again for the first time, either or, for the first time getting the Guyver units, or you just want to get a new batch of them, they're great to pick up. So I would definitely say go ahead and grab her and research and try to grab Guyver 1 if you happen to sold yours, or if you never just got it, because I think Guyver 1 is still pretty cheap on eBay. So other than that, that there is Guyver Unit 2 female version. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please continue to collect and stay tuned. I will have more reviews coming soon, hopefully. I've been slacking just due to the fact of a lot of work been on my hands, so I apologize for that. But y'all have a great one. Take care.